Bring it on. Want some, get some. Can I get a hell yeah? Yes, I am a pirate. You have to go with the pirates because, of course, they have cannons and everything. It's a pirate's life for me. Be proud of who you are and what you are. You're pirate. It is a first down. Pirates. Because when you're at East Carolina, you go for it every time. When you don't coach at East Carolina, you don't come to East Carolina, you don't play at East Carolina with a weak heart. Write it. I think I've ever been in a building as loud as that was. It was deafening in there. You live with Omaha. I can promise you that. And it's purple all night long in Eastern North Carolina.
You're watching The Sports Objective, the podcast for Pirates.
Yeah. My heart is purple and gold. I'm a pirate down of my soul, and I don't back down not at all. Find out when the cannons explode.
All right, welcome into the Pirate Football Playback, UTSA. And I know everybody is so excited to be here on tonight, but actually, the sun came up today. We lost. Yes. Did we lose? Yes, we lost. 54-28. We're going to talk about that, but guess what? It's a brand new day, and I bring in the kinder and gentler Kyle Barber. A lot of people were disappointed last night, but Kyle is, he's kinder and gentler.
Yeah, Kyle from LaGrange, Barber. First of all, two things. One, the UTSA game yesterday was extremely disappointing, but the season's not over. A lot of football left to be played. Oh, I guess there's technically two more games left to be played, but there's a lot left to be accomplished. Is the point of what I'm saying, and we'll get into that more later. And then secondly, I do want to apologize. On our intro, Blake Harrell says, hell yeah, and I want to apologize. We're going to have to edit that out of our intro, so I want to apologize to all our listeners for that vulgarity in our intro.
All right. As we bring in former linebacker in the Steve Logan era and our expert on the show, and that is Matt Semenza. What's up, Matty Ice?
What's going on, guys? Obviously yesterday was just a horrendous performance. And I've been thinking a lot about my opening statement and, how I wanted to approach this one. Because as you guys know, I was not happy with that performance yesterday. But I'll just kind of say it like this. You go back to the Memphis game, fellas. You're coming off of an emotional win where you stormed the field. And I was good with all that. I loved every minute of it. But you could go two ways after that. You could either use that to propel you forward as a team and play really well and put forth a good performance, or you can basically collapse and not be prepared at all. You can't come back from that emotional high and you're not ready to play a football game. And that's what happened yesterday. We just were not ready to play a football game in any way, mentally, physically, emotionally, and they took it to us. And hopefully we can bounce back this week.
Let's bring in now, ladies and gentlemen, he's the head coach of the Sports Objective. I'm talking about Stevie Fly. What's up, brother?
Matt, nobody could tell you were upset last night, dude. I mean, really, nobody could tell you were upset. You hit it well. You hit it well. Now, disappointing weekend.
I tried, Stevie. That was the best I could do.
I know. Disappointing weekend, but, I mean, guys, they're coming off this emotional win, and we just got punched in the mouth from the first play. It's like a boxing match when they get punched in the mouth in the first round, and you never recover. We never recovered yesterday, and it's disappointing. Yeah, it's disappointing. Everybody, I wanted it just as bad as everybody else, but we just got to move on and get ready for next week.
No doubt. As we bring in Johnny, I don't know where he is. Stats, Roberts. I think you're in Virginia, right?
I am indeed. I'm in Virginia. I was thinking back. I was like Matt, but not quite as upset with the Pirates' performance. I was just upset that, it's like we always get on these highs where we're so close we're so close. And then, we get smacked back down and they're like, not yet. Not yet. Whether it's baseball, basketball, whatever, football. We're not really basketball. We don't really get close in basketball. But I thought about this. Before the season ever started, we had a preview show like many other people did. And I kind of listened to what everybody had to say. And the question was brought up, what would you consider a successful season by the Pirate football team this year when it's all said and done?
7-5.
Yeah, you're right, Kyle. I think a few people said 6-6 in a bowl game and win the bowl game. I know that came up by a few people. So we're beyond that. If we win it, in Boca Raton and then win a bowl game, it's going to be a really good season, and it'll be better than last season. It'll be something to build on. And last night, it was painful, but I have some interesting takes on what I watched last night, and it wasn't all bad.
Yeah, I kind of echo what Matt said in terms of not being ready and emotionally flat. But I think a lot of it had to do with UTSA. UTSA, again, I'm going to beat this horse or beat this drum, beat the dead horse, whatever.
Easy now, Kyle. Easy now.
But
Stop
now
being a philanthropist.
I'll try. The other 25-0 in conference play at home under Jeff Traylor. And I think they have a lot of confidence at home for whatever reason. They're super ultra prepared at home for whatever reason. I can't explain why. And I think it's a tough place to play. The dome is half empty, although the crowd does get into it. They had around 20,000 there. For whatever reason, they have a lot of confidence at home. And we had an opportunity early, okay? We missed the deep pass to Brock Spalding. If you score there, it's 7-7 or 14-7. And then we missed the pick early. You get those two plays, it's probably a completely different ball game. It's probably a back-and-forth game all night. The problem is they have so much momentum and so much confidence at home. They jump all over you. And if you get down, there's just no coming back. They just believe at home they can beat anybody. And they did the same thing to Tulane. They did the exact same thing to Tulane. No different. Scores were very similar. So I give them a lot of credit for whatever reason they do that at home. But it was a bad combo. We were emotionally flat. They play like they're friggin' Alabama at home. Yeah. And then the third thing, and I want to ask Matt this. With the style of defense we play, how aggressive we are, blitz, is having a really good screen game, is that not the perfect way to attack our defense?
It is, and they had a great game plan, Kyle. It's actually one in my notes tonight to talk about. But, especially when you're aggressive up front and you're bringing pressure, the best way to neutralize that is with screens, with the screen game. And, they killed us they had every type of screen in the package yesterday. They had a jailbreak screens. They had tunnel screens, wide receiver screens, really creative stuff where they just get you in a bind. And, we had no answer for it. And, I think this is the first time all year I'm going to be critical of the defense because let's face it, the defense has played really well, right? I think they've played even way above what we all expected, yep. Right? But yesterday was the first day all season where I felt like, number one, the game plan was bad because we had no answers for the screen game. But I could tell there was something wrong on the first play of the game. I didn't see guys disengaging from blocks like they normally do. We weren't physical. We looked tired. That's a good way to put it. There was just something off from the first play. And that's the thing that's why, you guys, I was so upset about the game yesterday because we had everything to play for going into that game, right? Everything. You got a conference championship on the line, even though it was a 1.6% chance, you still had the, odds makers say hey, you have a chance to make the playoff, right? And I know it was slim, but everything on the line and to come out, it's one thing to lose, but to not even get off the bus is what really pissed me off. And it's just unacceptable. We have got to challenge ourselves this week and get back to a better performance.
I think we thought we were just going to walk in there and win the game easily. Look, I think we didn't take into account how good they are at home. and just looked at their overall record and overall stats and the way they've played in all their games instead of specifically how they played at home. I'm not talking about the coaching staff, I mean the players. And I think the players thought it was going to be a cakewalk. I think the players thought we were going to blow them out. Go ahead, JR.
Oh, I was going to say, Kyle, the funny thing is that Kyle and I had a conversation Saturday morning, and we identified the fact that, hey, man, if we blitz this team, they're going to kill us with their speed on the edge, a lot of stuff behind the line of scrimmage. That's what I'm afraid of. Well, here's what happened. Do you know that he had 24 completed passes, and 20 of them were 5 yards or less. 20 of the 24 passes were 5 yards or less. 9 of them were behind the line of scrimmage. 4 of them were at the line of scrimmage. 7 of them were 1 to 5 yards. Here, but I'm not going to bore you with stats, but let's just say this. When he's throwing the ball at that distance, it didn't seem like we made any adjustments whatsoever. Do you know the longest pass he threw air yards wise is 15 yards. That was the longest pass he threw. And they had a lot of yards after contact. That's what killed us. They had 150 yards after contact and only, 190 yards after contact and 50 yards through the air. So,
Boy, the coaching staff is not going to like that on film, JR, because that's going to look like they gave better effort than we did, and they are not going to like that.
I wonder how many screen passes they threw that went for over 15 yards yesterday, because there was a ton of them from what I saw.
Yeah, I can tell you right now, Steve.
You're muted, Matt.
Matt's muted.
Yeah, he's muted.
They had to complete at least 10 screen passes. They had to.
Yeah, and they were going for big chunks.
For instance, they threw a 45-yard touchdown pass that was at the line of scrimmage. They threw a 33-yard pass that was 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. They threw a 37-yard pass. That was their longest pass of the day, the 15-yarder. It was 22 yards after carry. That was their longest, pass play. But other screens, the 12-yard touchdown. I mean, they did it very, very early and very often.
Quickly, and then we'll get back to UTSA. Florida Atlantic, I haven't watched them play much this year. I know they pass it a lot. They're not a big screen team, correct? They're more of a up-tempo spread type, not a lot of screens.
Yeah, I have some disturbing stats about them too, but I can hold those till Wednesday. But
they're not. But they're not a big screen team like UTSA.
No, for instance, UTEP.
I think we'll be able to get pressure on their quarterback. I think it'll be completely different.
Yeah, I don't mean UTEP. I mean Texas San Antonio. He's only thrown 11 balls, 20 yards in the air all season.
Wow.
Where Veltkamp has thrown twice as many. So
right, but that gives us more chance to get pressure on the quarterback.
It's not.
I like what Florida Atlantic does versus what UTSA does. You can't get pressure on a quarterback when he's throwing the ball at the line of scrimmage and behind the line of scrimmage. When you're standing back there and chunking the ball, you can get after him. So
McCown wouldn't sit back there in the pocket long. He had a quick release.
Exactly.
Little screen pass. So this guy, if he's sitting back there in the pocket for a while, we should be able to get pressure on him. Those blitzes that we're dialing up should be able to get some pressure, hopefully.
And we'll be able to score on.
I just have one quick question for Matt. For Matt, and I'm gonna shut up because I'm talking too much. And
you're not talking.
You're good, JR.
Come on now.
No. So
you got a long time, buddy. Talking
with the quarterback, McCown, he threw 5 touchdowns, no picks. I wasn't impressed with him. He never made a difficult throw. He never, made a dangerous throw that put the team in, a turnover-worthy play. That's what I'm going to call it. He never made one of those. He never made a big-time throw. He never did anything really impressive except get rid of the ball. And I think that offensive coordinator was the reason. I think a lot of quarterbacks could have been successful yesterday in that offense.
Yeah, and their receivers and running backs block like Lincoln Riley, Dwayne Harris era, Donnie Kirkpatrick coaching the receivers era, ECU blocking downfield.
So
sorry, Dave. I was just going to answer JR's question. Yeah. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, McCown, he's a good, solid college quarterback in that system. Like he doesn't have the strongest arm. that you're going to see out there. But he's really good at that little screen game. The best thing he does as a quarterback is his play action fake is ridiculously good. Did you guys notice how good that was yesterday?
Yeah.
I mean, especially in the red zone. He does a really good job with that. But look, like, we made it so easy for him yesterday. We didn't get any pressure. It was kind of embarrassing to watch, guys. I mean, like, at times we were just rushing 3, dropping 8. Other times we were trying to bring pressure. And we just did not look right. Couldn't disengage from blocks. Couldn't get home. I mean, anybody could have sat back there and picked us apart yesterday. And I fully expect FAU is going to, they're going to look at that film. And I expect to see some jailbreak screens and some tunnel screens this week. They're going to try to replicate that.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, Matt. I know we're going to break down the game, but I do want to ask you about, and Stevie, being a former player, and I understand why you get upset, because you did as I've said many times, that's why we like having you on the show. You've been there, you've done that. Stevie's coach for many years. How do you, this is one question I wanted to ask you, so I don't want to forget. You have a tough day at the office. You have a game where nothing goes right for you. How do you flush that out? We talk about the 24-hour rule, where you celebrate for 24 hours, and then you got the next opponent. How do you do that to flush this out right now and just focus on FAU?
It's tough, man. It is really tough. And I'll kind of share a story with you guys. I've played in some games that did not go very well. I was a part of that Syracuse game in 1997 up in the Dome. I know you guys all are, you remember it, and we're all trying to forget that day. But I can just tell you, like, the next few days in practice after that game were not for the faint of heart. I mean, it was everybody was in a bad mood. The coaches were in a bad mood. The players were in a bad mood. We were battling, and so you're going to have a lot of guys ready to go this week. And, like, the only thing you can do is just go back to work. You got to somehow flush it, watch the film, but you got to flush it and find a way to just focus on the next one, because you don't want to let them beat you twice. That's the biggest thing. And so you got to get back to work tomorrow, in the film room. Look, everybody's beat up this time of year too. Everybody's tired. People have bumps and bruises, bone bruises, everything. But you got to find a way to suck it up for one more week and put your best performance on the field.
Yeah, Holton and I were talking, on the fifth quarter yesterday, and I brought this up, and he liked the idea, and he agreed 100% that if I was Blake, I would kind of do the opposite of what you think. Maybe you're implying this, Matt. I would take it easy at practice this week. Let guys rest. Holton said make practice fun. He said make it fun this week. Would it be in Thanksgiving week? You don't have any students there, so that's good. You don't have to hear about this from students or any negativity on campus. You can kind of lock in and just be a family unit, so to speak, for lack of a better term, and just be the football program without a much outside noise. So I think that's good. This is the first time Blake's been in this situation, so it'll be interesting to see how we respond. I mean, he's come out with losses, but this is the first time under Blake Harrell that we have not been competitive in a football game. Think about that.
Yeah.
So,
17 games.
Yeah, so I would expect we're going to respond well. I do think Florida Atlantic is much better than their record. I think they're playing really good offensive football right now. Defense, I don't think they could stop air, but I do think they are playing good offensive football. And this is I think it's a good challenge for our defense to come out. We don't have to be perfect. We don't have to hold them to 14 points or something like that. But I actually like that they're a passing football team, and that I don't. They're going to throw deeper than UTSA, so we're going to be able to get pressure on their quarterback. But I think this is a good challenge for our defense. I think if you were playing, Charlotte this week, although to that note, I think the American is doing themselves a huge disservice by not scheduling East Carolina, Charlotte, Florida Atlantic, South Florida, Memphis, UAB, Army, Navy. That's a different thing. So Navy, Temple, that UTSA, North Texas. Why is the conference not scheduling regional rivalries for the last week of the year? But anyway, that's another topic for another time.
The guys, go ahead, Stevie.
Yeah, I think you really just need to hit the reset button this week. Pressure, yeah, like Matt said earlier, we had everything to play for this last week. Now the pressure's off. Go out there, just concentrate on winning this game and getting a good bowl game. Just get back to what we have been doing. I mean, just I don't know about you, Matt, and I mean JR. I don't know if you played or not, but if before every game I ever played in or coached in, if I didn't have the nerves, I went out there flat and just unemotional, and I had a terrible game. I just wonder how many of these guys were just like that this past week, because I would tell even my coaches if I wasn't nervous, I was like, this is not going to be a good game. I'm not nervous. And same thing with playing sport, any sport. If you don't have that nerve, then you're going to be flat. And a lot of those guys yesterday were flat.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I felt flat yesterday before that game. I'm not making a joke. I just.
Oh yeah, it was kind. You did say that you had a bad feeling.
Yeah.
You did say you had a bad feeling about it.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah, and go ahead, Dave. I'm sorry.
I was going to pitch it to you about breaking down the game, and we were talking about one thing I want to tell the fans too is let's support this team. We were very angry during the game because it hurts. I know it hurts even more if you're a player or coach like Matt. But that game is over with. Let's flush it out. And this is when the team really needs Pirate Nation to step up. And I'm speaking to the fans. Let's lift this team up. We've had a great year. Let's not turn on the team. I don't think they will. But FAU, let's focus on like that's our bowl game. Focus on like that. Everything means a lot, and not put too much pressure on it. But Matt, how do you feel about that? About going down there, taking care of business? Like Kyle said, have fun at practice. You've had a great year already. Not pack it in, obviously, but you can have a 9 and basically a 9-4 year still. So it's not like we had a huge disastrous season where we're not going to make a bowl and this game doesn't matter. This game still matters.
Yeah, like I think this is the type of week where like you have to look yourself in the mirror as a program and coaches and players, because I don't think anybody performed well, particularly yesterday. And you have to look yourself in the mirror and make sure you're ready to go. And like you have to be honest with yourself too. And when you look back at that UTSA film, and there were just a lot. I mean, so many uncharacteristic missed tackles, fumbles. We would catch the ball and then we'd fumble it. Hauser, who is, Mr. Consistency, right? Like 95% of the time.
Overthrew everybody.
Yeah, just had a rough day, man. Like it's tough when your quarterback, and I'm not at all like Caton's been great for us, and I'm very confident he's going to bounce back. But like when your quarterback has a really rough day like that, and you're missing wide open receivers down the field, you're just, it's hard to recover from that. I just think it's the type of week where you like, if I was the coaching staff, I would really challenge the players. Look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself what you want to do with the rest of the season, because you can still win 8 games and you still have a bowl game.
Matt, do you think I mentioned earlier, I thought maybe they thought they were going to walk over everybody. Do you think it was the other way? Do you think instead of thinking they were just going to walk in there and win, do you think that they felt too much pressure after the week before, after, conference championship talks, top 25 votes, talks of,
college playoff,
college football playoff? Do you think they felt too much pressure? And now this week, there really is no pressure. It's all about pride going to get 8 wins. No pressure. Nothing's really going to change except your record with what happened Saturday. But what happened Saturday is very important to me. I want to finish 8-4 in the regular season, something we hadn't done in a decade. But do you think it was, instead of maybe, as I suggested earlier, them being overconfident, do you think it was basically with Hauser? To me, Hauser performing that way, do you think it was too much pressure? Because that's the only way I can explain Hauser's performance.
I had one.
It could be. I mean, it could be a pressure. I just think for whatever reason, this is kind of the way I interpreted it, that for whatever reason, we just could not get ourselves down off of that emotional high, and from last week, and some teams can handle that, and some can't, and for whatever reason, I don't know if there were just too many pats on the back this week. I don't know what the preparation was like, but it just wasn't the same team we've been watching all year.
And guys, I wanted to mention too, you look at this team, you were talking, and you made a great point, Matt, about the fumbles. And how about that catch? That was in the first or second quarter. But the Anthony Smith catch where he's got the ball and he has he's not even protecting the ball. He had the ball out with one hand, running with the football. I mean, that's easiest. I'm not saying it's easy, but for the defense, that's an easy ball to strip. It was just things like that.
Yeah, he was trying to get extra yardage without securing the ball.
Yeah. But there was things like that we've seen him drop passes, which is like infuriating. That one touchdown pass a couple weeks ago.
To me, in that situation, Dave, he was trying too hard to make a big play rather than just securing the pass, bringing it in, and then worried about getting extra yards. I think he was trying too hard. That particular play you're talking about, I think he was trying too hard to make a big play.
Stevie, let me throw this to you since you're a coach. I mean, I have never seen an offense. I've been watching football for, good Lord, 40-something years now. I've never seen an offense false start so much. I mean, there was a sequence yesterday, Stevie, where we false started 3 times in a row. I don't think I've ever seen that all my years watching football.
That was irritating. That was frustrating. That was late in the game, man. I can tell you. I think that was frustration.
Yeah, but also I saw Justin Butt's comment a little earlier about the noise and how loud it was in there. Justin, I don't know, he was there. So, but yeah, I mean, but this has been going on all year with us too.
Right.
We cleaned it up a few weeks, but we've had that happen with that offense line. I really don't know, Matt. I mean, I've never seen it like that. Kyle, it could be frustration at the end of the game, but we've had it happen in so many games.
Yeah, but not 3 times in a row, I wonder.
Yeah. Hey, but you know what the worst part about the whole situation is the timing. Like when we did it, I mean, we did it in the first quarter when it was 3rd and 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, don't you remember what game was it, JR, that was it Tulane that we had many?
Yeah, it was Tulane, Stevie. We were down in the red zone. We were in the red zone, right, and then yeah. So we had a 3rd and 1 false start, and we were, I think, we were in their territory for sure. And then we had a 3rd and 2 on their 24. Then we had another 3rd and 2 false start, and then we had a 3rd and 7 false start, on their 27-yard line. I mean, every time we had a false start, we're trying to score. It's ruining our scoring drive. And
yep.
Go ahead. I was just going to say, defense had 5 penalties too, and every one of those were either a 3rd down or a 4th down penalty, and all of them cost us. They extended drives. It was terrible.
A lot of penalties in the secondary too.
Defense looked tired to me and not prepared for what they were running, and I also think we didn't match up well with what they ran. But offense, I'll go back to what I said about the pressure and Hauser. You look at when he hasn't performed well. NC State, to open the season, he didn't play well until the second half. Tulane, he didn't play well. The offense didn't play well. Pressure, big time game on the road against the best team in the league. And then yesterday with the conference championships up was on the line, pressure. So I think, the Memphis game, he did play well. But I think at times Hauser and this offense kind of can't handle pressure well. And I think we saw 2 different things yesterday. I think offensively we didn't handle pressure, and I think defensively we retired and they out-schemed us.
All right, Dave, bring up Brian Page's last comment.
Yeah,
a healthy Tegan Wilkes too. I mean, we missed that yesterday too. 'Cause he makes that defense go, especially that secondary.
Well,
He came back, didn't he? He was.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did, but he wasn't right. I mean, he was not healthy.
Yeah.
He was not all over that field like he usually is.
Yeah, hopefully he'll be good to go for Florida Atlantic.
Matt, I did have a question for you. I was thinking about last night, so I wanted to ask it now. Is how much of it is, and I know everybody could say excuse. I'm not making excuses or spinning. How much of it is, speaking of Tegan Wilkes, the guys are banged up. Everybody's banged up. I know that's probably what you're going to tell me, but like when you were talking about how slow they looked, is that because some of the guys are not 100%?
Well, the guy that would have been backing up Tegan Wilkes got kicked out of the game for so
Yeah.
that's another thing.
Yeah.
Monica has a good question.
Well, yeah. And then Paul had to play, who would have normally been the third free safety.
Yeah, he played at the end of the game, Monica. You probably had turned it off by then, but
He played secondary.
He did earlier in the game. Okay, I don't remember.
No,
seeing him.
I'm talking about at the end of the game. He was in the secondary.
He also punted. He punted also.
Monica, keep asking the question. But I don't know. I hadn't seen Monica up here before. She's asking some good questions tonight.
Monica's she's been up here, and she also calls into Pirate Radio.
That's who that is. Yeah, she did. She had a good call on fifth quarter the other night.
You want her number, Stevie?
Oh no, just let her keep calling fifth quarter. I'll listen to her.
All right.
What was I going to say? Yeah. So, like JR, actually, I wanted to ask you, and I'm sure you don't have this in front of you, but this would be an interesting stat. And for the new people tuning in tonight, JR is our master stats guy. But do we have to lead the country in false starts? I'm.
I don't think that's an official stat, Matt, but you know that I could dig it up. I could do it.
I would love if you. I don't know where you find this stuff. I can't find it, but like, I would be willing to bet $100 to anybody listening right now that we are leading the country in false starts.
We're definitely leading the country in false starts at very bad times, inappropriate times. I mean, it's killed us so many different times. But yeah, I'll see what I can do to figure that out. Hey, I wanted to say that, we just played Memphis. I thought that was the fastest team in the league for sure. But, the quarterback was on one ankle, and, I don't know how much that affected their overall team speed. But this team, the announcer said a couple of times, well, they're just slobber knocking the Pirates. But really, it wasn't. They were very physical, but their speed was the best we've ever seen all season. Like all their rushing success all came on the edge. 39 rushes were on the outside of the ends, and 143, the 210 yards. That's like 70% of their offensive yards came on the edge. They had nothing up the middle. They couldn't do anything against our interior linemen.
Yeah, their game plan was great. It's really, and what I fear, and I think we'll adjust. And you are who you are at this time of year. So, if Florida Atlantic ain't doing that, I don't think they're just going to suddenly start this week. I fear we were exposed a little bit on defense yesterday on how to attack us. But again, if you don't have 560 screen games and it passes in your offense, you're not going to. That's what UTSA does. That they didn't just do that yesterday. That's what they do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we also, like the last 2 weeks, like to your point about running outside, everything on the perimeter, like Memphis exposed us with outside zone bad, and like, look, they're taking what we're giving them. If we're in a 3-man front, what you're going to do is you're not going to run up the middle against 3 men. You're going to try to get it outside where you have them. You're at an advantage offensively, and so Memphis killed us with that outside zone. And it was similar with UTSA yesterday. Like, just everything is perimeter based, even the runs, and we're just outflanked a lot of time. And it just got ugly. And like, their personnel is built for those screens. They have a lot. I don't know if you guys noticed. They have like 3 guys they're probably like 160 pounds. They're tiny, but they can fly.
Yeah.
And I mean, and those guys hurt us bad. I mean, we looked like we were stuck in mud.
What we didn't do well yesterday that we did well against Memphis, and we've done well so many other times this year. It's okay. It's okay to give up a big play, get beat on the perimeter when you lock it up in the red zone. And we did not do that yesterday at all. And that's why I go back to we look tired because Memphis, yeah, they had a lot of yardage, but 24 points, or 27 points, and that's fine. I will sit here tonight and put a crisp $100 bill on, and I hope I don't have to eat my words. But if we give up 27 points to Florida Atlantic, we're going to win the football game.
Hey, Kyle, it's funny you bring up 27 because prior to this Roadrunner game, the defense has never given up more than 27 points.
Yep.
BYU scored 34, but one of them was a defensive touchdown. No, we've never given up more than 27 points before. That's what was another thing that was so frustrating.
Exactly. And unless we have another game offensively like we did this past week, I feel really good about the Florida Atlantic game, despite what they can do on offense. I think it's going to be a bit of a shootout. But I just, again, if we hold them to 27 points next week and we're not sitting here victorious, I'll be shocked. Do you guys agree with that? Because I don't think they can stop air.
I agree with you. I agree with you 1,000%, Kyle. I would love, by the way, I've been meaning to, I forgot to text you guys this earlier this morning. Have you guys seen a line so far for the game?
Yeah, 6.5 or 7, depending on where you bet.
Okay. All right. So just
Pirates.
curious there.
Yeah.
Hey, Kyle, I do want to say one thing. It's Groundhog Day, though, all over again. I didn't expect to find this. I really didn't, because Veltkamp, he leads the nation in interceptions thrown. He's thrown 15.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm thinking, so I did some splits on him, home and away. It's the same thing. We're doing the same thing again. Here we go. So
yeah,
FAU,
but they're not winning at home.
Well, they're 3-2, and one of their losses was yesterday against Connecticut. They could have easily won that game and been 4-1 at home, but their only loss coming against Memphis. But here's the thing. They've scored 44 points at home, 21 on the road. They're -3 turnovers on the road and even at home. And with Veltkamp, 13 touchdowns, 2 interceptions at home, and 11 touchdowns, 13 interceptions on the road. So it's not quite as extreme as Texas San Antonio. But again, rushing touchdowns, 11 at home, 2 on the road. So,
give me their 3 wins at home.
Okay, it's Florida A&M. So that's a disqualifier. I get it. I think Temple and FAU.
Temple.
They beat themselves yesterday against Connecticut. Yeah, but no, they played Memphis. I don't have that right on, but I'm pretty sure it was Memphis. I don't know.
I'll look it up. You talk amongst yourself.
I have too many notes here. I can't.
Okay.
What was? Oh, go ahead, JR.
No. I wasn't talking. I'm looking. I'm trying to get this information for Kyle.
I'll tell you. I thought what was going on with Jeff Traylor yesterday. I mean, I guess he was upset about last year he felt like there was some kind of cheap shot.
I'm convinced Jeff Traylor is a homosexual.
Well, I'll tell you this: he acted really soft because there were no cheap shots on McCown last year. I'd like to go back and watch that game just to see it, but I guess
they kept harping on the picture when we hit him clean hit, and he got his helmet knocked off. If I remember right, his helmet came off several times during that game. I don't think it was just that hit. I think he was having a problem with his helmet or something because he had to come off the field several times last year. But
he was crying.
He took that as a motivational factor all week with his team, and it worked. Obviously, it worked.
And I'll tell you, I thought there were some cheap shots on Hauser late in the game too. There was one where he slid and he got hit while he was on the ground, and somehow a flag wasn't called. But I was happy to see Hauser get out of that game because I really think that they were trying to take.
They were after him.
They were. I would have taken him out. Quickly, I want to say this. I'm gonna come back to that. Their 3 wins at home are against Florida A&M, UAB, and Tulsa. So the Tulsa win was pretty dominating. So that one is quality. But Florida A&M and UAB ain't exactly scaring me. So that's FAU's 3 home wins. That you want to talk about something that I disagree with the coaching staff on. I would have pulled Hauser at the beginning of the 4th quarter. They were trying to hurt him. It was obvious, and there was absolutely no chance of us coming back in that game. So completely stupid for the coaching staff. And it's the first time I'm being this critical on this particular coaching staff about anything. But having Hauser in that game in the fourth quarter, the way they were taking shots on him when the game was out of hand, they finally pulled him with, I don't know, about 6 minutes to go in the fourth. He would have never stepped foot on the field in the fourth quarter. Particularly when you got the young kid that we put in, that whatever his name is, I can't think of it right now.
Chasten Ditto.
That played Ditto. That played the board. Then you could have put in Mike Wright. So I do think that was a huge coaching miscue by Blake Harrell and JDB leaving Hauser out there in the fourth quarter.
I disagree, only because I feel like they were trying to make it respectable, and they were definitely taking a risk with Hauser. Was that worth the risk? Because a non-winnable game. But I mean, come on, Kyle.
No, I don't. Make it respectable. You should have done that in the first half. Respectable. Don't kick onside kicks repeatedly when you're down. If you were worried about making it respectable, you either win the game or you don't. I mean, it's not worth getting your quarterback hurt to make the score look pretty.
Well, I didn't care so much that he was in there, but I don't know why we were having quarterback design runs.
That bothered me too, man.
Well, you control that late in the game.
That was kind of my biggest issue. Was like, all right, fine, keep him in the game, whatever. Let's try to find some rhythm, but we don't need to be running him on design quarterback draws when they're trying to cheap shot him. I
would argue, Matt, a little bit there. At least in that situation, he controls the contact a little bit. When he's back there in the pocket, he doesn't have any control of that contact.
Well,
go ahead, Dave.
No, I was just going to say I agree with you guys, because for me, the coach, like you said, Kyle, what I want to ask the coach is, what are you complaining about? Last year is, guess what, sir? Last year, I would say, sir, look at the scoreboard, because you're way ahead up on us. And so everybody's talking about that. We have a game called football. And if you don't like it, play another sport. I'm just so sick and tired of hearing about targeting, and it gets on my nerves, especially when, not to go down a rabbit hole, when they don't know how to call the targeting call. But anyway,
targeting is a joke. Targeting is
it is.
These targeting rules are hurting college football so bad. First of all, the targeting call, was it McKinley yesterday that got called on targeting?
Yeah, it was.
That to me, that's a questionable call, and I'll tell you why. Like, you're a safety, right? And when a receiver catches a ball who's on his way to the ground, all right, you're supposed to finish the tackle, but you can't go anywhere near the head, or they're going to flag you. I thought he got his head to the side, and I thought he used his shoulder. Now, did it appear to be a little bit high? Yeah, but that's just football. Like, at a certain point, you have to let guys play the game. And, again, I say this all the time. All right, all the time. But the first targeting, you should not get kicked out of the game.
Amen.
You should get the penalty and a warning. If you get targeting twice, fine, kick him out. But that was very questionable. Come on,
Yeah, to me with targeting, and the Pays is correct. That's what a trailer used as motivation. I guess whatever you can use it. It worked, so props to him. But I think with targeting, I think if it's not egregious, I think that's when it should be called. If it's clearly helmet to helmet, if it's clearly, somebody's head hunting. But in that situation, no. If he's leading with his shoulder and it just happens to make head-to-head contact because the receiver's going to the ground, I don't think that should be called. I think you've got to adjust the targeting penalty. I think we've gone too far with the protection over concussions and CTE and all that. I think we've come a long ways with equipment, and you're not even hearing much about CTE anymore. Which I guess some people could say, hey, these rules are working then. But I think it probably has more to do with the improvement in helmets.
No doubt. And also the fact that, anyway, that frustrates me. And, it is what it is. I'm going to flush the game out. I did want to, did you guys have anything else on the game as far as breaking it down or talking about it?
Yeah, I was going to tell Kenny, he's to circle the next UTSA game in Greenville. Unfortunately, that'll be in 3 years.
Yeah, we don't
You
get
got a
that.
ways to go. You got a ways to
Yeah,
go.
we don't get that.
Really?
I'm still circling it though. I'll
don't
wait.
play
Yeah,
for 3
we don't
years.
play UTS. They come off the schedule for the next 2 years. So.
Yeah, I know. I'll wait though.
Like,
I'll
and that's
wait.
something else.
JR's gonna go out there and get him himself and listen to him. I'll wait though. I'll wait.
Hey, Jeff,
Hey, oh, go ahead, Dave.
your autograph. Hey, Jeff, can I get your autograph and then just punch him in the face? But anyway, the
Violence.
yeah, just
I had one more thing about the game.
Go ahead.
I don't want to go without, a lot of people said we gave up. And I think by watching that game, you could identify either people were exhausted or they were given less than 100% effort. And that's like the one thing that you just can't forgive. But I think a lot of our players were still playing hard. And I want to say, especially Jamarly Riddle. I know he's my guy, but still, he was bringing it 60 minutes. And I just respect him for that. And I just wanted to give him a shout out because he definitely never gave up. He never stopped, trying to do his best. So,
Well, yeah, I'll tell you, and it's a real thing. And as a fan, I'll ask Matt. This is a great question for Matt, actually. If I do toot my own horn, when you win a big game, all right, like we did Saturday night, as a fan, at least for me, I have an adrenaline dump where I get so excited, then I feel exhausted afterwards for a couple days. As a player, okay, you're obviously in better shape than my fat ass is, but as a player, I would imagine that adrenaline dump is at the next level when you have a win over Memphis. So how do you get exhausted for a couple days after that, like I do when I have an adrenaline dump?
I think you definitely do. And and another part of that adrenaline dump was like, what do you do after the game? I mean, we would party after games pretty hard too. So you throw in that as well. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a real thing too. So the adrenaline dump plus, you might go out and party pretty hard after that.
Well,
game.
you're still riding adrenaline. You're still on the high. So then when you come off of when I say, when you crash, you have the adrenaline dump, and then you go out partying, and you keep that, you stay high, so to speak, drinking and partying, and then Sunday, Monday, you're probably you're going to crash. You're going to crash and I wonder how long it takes to recover from that physically and mentally. Is what I'm asking you.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it's different for everybody, and it's obviously a real thing because Vegas knows how to set up those lines. They look at all those things, which is amazing to me. But no, it's definitely a real thing, Kyle. I think it's when you're 20, I think it's much easier. I think it's in some ways it's easier for a player to kind of get back to work. Like once you get on the practice field, I'm just laughing at Pays' comment there. Pays, I cannot tell a lie. You definitely saw me drinking the penny draft at the elbow room for sure.
It's
lot.
past the statute of limitations, right, Matt?
I think it was Pabst Blue Ribbon they had that. But I
know you were a hipster, man.
What's that?
I knew you were a hipster.
Yeah.
PBR is a hipster beer now.
Yeah. I'm not a beer guy. You know that.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, man. Like these 20-year-olds are resilient, and you just have to be able to put it back together, get on the practice field, and get to work. I mean, it's just that simple. I don't really have an answer for it, but you just have to be professional and find a way to get through it.
I'm just happy.
We clearly didn't. We clearly didn't.
Yeah, I think if that game would have been in Greenville, we'd have won it. And I know that sounds insane, but they're a completely different team on the road. I also think if we'd have been playing UAB, for example, yesterday, we'd have won it. I think we were playing the wrong team at the wrong place at the wrong time. It was the perfect storm yesterday.
No doubt.
Yeah. And nothing went our way. Every 50-50 went their way, every one of them. And people say, well, you don't blame the referees when you lose by 34 points. And I'm not blaming them, but I mean, they definitely were pretty bad at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, but it always happens that way for UTSA at home. I mean, everything goes their way. Every call, everything. I mean, you really have to start wondering why that is beyond just their performance at home. Why does every call seem to go their way at home? I don't know what's up, what's in the water in San Antonio. Maybe they have some of the same influence UTEP has, Matt.
Hey, Matt,
with their major donors.
Yeah.
Hey, Matt.
South of the border.
You remember when, for the NBA fans out there, I used to always hear about how Michael Jordan and the Bulls, and they're talking about the 90s Bulls, obviously, not now. They always get the calls. They always get the calls. And, at some point, you just have to say, they're a good team. And sometimes, yes, Michael Jordan would get calls and you're like rolling your eyes like, wow, you're going to get that touch foul to Jordan. But they won a lot of games.
That was all those Knicks fans.
Yeah, but the thing about the
wait a
Bulls
minute. I wasn't trying to
Easy now. Easy
the
now.
thing about the Bulls, the Bulls were good on the road and at home.
Yeah,
This UTSA team is for 4 years now, since 2020, have been unbeatable at home in conference play in the American and Conference USA. Yet on the road, particularly this year, they're horrible. And it's not like a FAU situation where you can look at the schedule and go, well, look, there's why. They're beating good teams. And, this year alone, they blew out Tulane, they blew out East Carolina, and they blew out a decent Rice team, yet they can barely beat Charlotte on the road. That's their only road win this year, is at Charlotte, and it wasn't impressive. It's inexplicable. Inexplicable. Yes, Stevie, I'm a philanthropist. Philanthropist.
Yeah. So I'm going to say this. Are you? I know that I'm not happy with the loss, but aren't you happy, Matt, being a former player, Stevie, being a coach, the fact that you have a situation now where you do still have a game, where you still have a game. What I'm saying is you still have one more game before the bowl game. So it's not like we got blown out in a miserable fashion, and then you got to turn around and play the bowl game in a few weeks.
Yeah.
Definitely. You got a chance to answer the bell. I guess
you got a chance to make that a blip on the radar screen.
Exactly. Make people forget about that game.
You played 10 good games this year.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like I said last night, one game doesn't define this season. There's good teams out there that have this happen to them before, but we just laid an egg yesterday, guys, and we're gonna bounce back this week. We're gonna answer the bell this week and get on a roll and go into whatever bowl game we get to.
All right. Speaking of which,
well, let me ask you this. Let me just comment on that really quick.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Dave. We were talking at the same time. We got a little lag here. If we don't win this game, I feel like this season is a complete failure. I really do, because
I won't go that far.
When you're in this position, coming off that Memphis win, I think to lose 2 straight would be a disaster. And here's the thing, like my goal is the conference championship. That's another reason why I was so aggravated yesterday, because look, I think there's always something to play for. You can always find something to play for. But that was a tough pill to swallow, losing out on an opportunity for a conference championship, especially in that fashion. Like, again, it's one thing to lose, but it's another thing when you just don't get off the bus to show up to play a football game. And that was the part that was tough to swallow. And I just hope, man, like this is, to me, like this week for the coaches is all about, like, look yourself in the mirror, players and coaches, challenge yourself to do better. Because this is a game you have to win, in my opinion. Like, I just feel like the season will be a total disappointment if you lose this game.
Well,
it'd be a disappointment. I wouldn't say it would be a complete disaster, but if you lose 2 in a row to close out the regular season, you limp into the bowl, and then the bowl becomes a must win. So you don't feel like the season was a complete disaster, because then you don't want to finish 7-6 when you had the opportunity for 9 wins, or 10 wins last week. But yeah, I didn't play the game, but I can tell you, to me, this game is no less important now, no less at all. In fact, I won't say I would want it even more, because obviously we'd be in position for potentially a conference championship had we beat UTSA. But to me, I have in my head, and I don't know what you guys' criteria are, but I try to be realistic and look at history. And to me, 8-win regular season, so 8-4, 8-3 back in the day, is what I consider special season at ECU based on history. Like I said, we've only had 5 of them in the last 25 years, 8-win regular seasons. So we have a chance still for this to be a special season, win 8 games in the regular season, win 9 games for just the 4th time in the last 25 years if we win our bowl. And also something else that people haven't, maybe not even don't realize. If we beat Florida Atlantic, this will be our best record in American Conference play ever. Ever. We've never lost fewer than 3 games in American Conference play.
Correct. And by the way, Matt, to your point, I'm glad you said what you said. I had a friend of mine call me, and he said he was happy to hear what I had to say because he's saying to him, knowing what we know about this team and what they were so close, right? He says he feels, if hypothetically speaking, if we lose this week and go 7-5, he said, dude, that's mediocre. He said, we're better than that. And he said, why are we, he said, as a fan, he's just saying as a fan base, we need to, like Matt's saying, I want to hear, this is one thing I'm going to say to the administration. We don't say enough. I'm trying really hard to be constructive when they hear me say administration. Like Matt said, please mention, and Kyle said it before too, please talk a lot about we're after winning championships. We don't ever, you don't hear that anymore. You don't ever hear about conference championship. And let's get the donors out there that when people say they don't want to, here's another thing. I don't like the fact that we're losing players, or I don't like the fact we're losing games. Well, guess what? There's a thing called revenue sharing, and you're going to have to pony up more money unless you want to, be quote unquote mediocre. So for me, I want to see the team continue to do well. They will. I think we win this week. We'll talk about FAU at more on Wednesday night for the preview. But man, if we lose this week, it will be tough. As far as, I don't think it's a disaster season.
It's just very disappointing.
Disappointing. Yes, that's the word.
Yeah, hugely disappointing. And I think if you finish 8-4, go 9-3, or bowl game regardless. If you finish the regular season 8-4, 2 losses in conference, Blake Harrell can go out there on the recruiting trail, in the portal, and on the Pirate Club trail and talk, hey, we're this close to winning and playing for a conference championship, which means we're this close to potentially making the playoffs. You can use all this. And, winning this coming week keeps all those talks alive. There's many years going 7-2 in conference play, or is that too many conference games? Going 6-2 in conference play will get you in the conference championship game many, many, many years.
Yeah.
Can you throw that comment from Kenneth?
Sure.
Kenneth makes a good point here. I mean, those bowl games have no appeal to me, honestly. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just, not looking at it right, and you guys feel free to disagree with me, but like,
I'll say this, Matt. I look at where we were 2 years ago.
Correct.
And where we are now. I mean, we could be up here talking about a 2-10 team instead of, these guys, do I want to be in a better bowl game than what we've been in? Yeah. I mean, but last year we beat NC State in the Military Bowl. We didn't play a MAC team. That was great. And who knows what we'll get this year.
I think Kenny's comments, I think what he was trying to say is if we finish 7-5, that's
I agree.
We'll
I know what he's saying, but I'm just saying, look at how far we come. I mean, just this one game, I hope doesn't really sour everybody on how the progress this team has made. I mean,
exactly.
Stevie, if we beat Florida Atlantic this week and then go win our bowl game, this game will just be a distant memory. And in terms of who you play in your bowl game, as long as East Carolina's on the field, the game means something to me. And if we're playing, look, if we take care of business against Florida Atlantic and go 8-4, and they throw us in Myrtle Beach against, a Sunbelt school or a MAC school, then I want to go win that game and get the 9 wins. Now, there are a couple of MAC schools or Sunbelt schools I'd be excited to play in Myrtle Beach. Appalachian State, if they beat Arkansas State, suddenly could be bowl eligible. That would excite me. Marshall would excite me. So I'm not going to say that none of these schools, like you put us on the field with App State or Marshall, and you ain't fired up, then something's wrong with you. So there are a couple of those Sunbelt schools. Same with ODU with the season they've had. Any of those 3 in Myrtle Beach, if we beat Florida Atlantic and we're 8-4, I'll be fired up to play them. JMU's another one. So if you can't control who you play in a bowl, and I think what he was talking about finishing 7-5. Look, if we go handle our business against Florida Atlantic, finish 8-4, I think there's a real good shot that we'll be in. I don't think they'll send us to Annapolis again, but I think there's a real good shot that we'll be in Boston against the ACC, that we'll be in Tampa against the ACC and the
Gasparilla.
Gasparilla, thank you, or Birmingham against the SEC. I don't be surprised if you see, whoever's in Birmingham. All right, our bowl situation just quickly, and we'll talk about this more next week. But so we have 4 guaranteed spots. That is Military, Fenway, Hawaii, and Military, Fenway, Hawaii. What is the 4th guaranteed spot, Dave?
Let's see. We have Fenway, Military, Gasparilla, and Hawaii.
No. We have 4 guaranteed spots.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the 4th guaranteed spot is. I'll have to go look. And then we have 8 other bowls that we get 4 spots in. So we have 8 bowls. Okay, 4 were guaranteed, and then the other 8 we get 4 of. I can't think of what the 4th bowl is that we're guaranteed.
Gasparilla is saying Armed Forces Bowl.
Armed Forces. BPAYS is correct. So there you go. The Serpro Armed Forces Bowl is the 4th one. So Serpro Armed Forces, which I believe is against the Big 12. The Fenway Bowl, which is against the ACC. The Military Bowl, which is against the ACC. The Hawaii Bowl, which will probably be against Hawaii, is against Mount West, and Hawaii will probably stay home for that. And then we have 4 bowls out of 8, and I cannot name all 8 of those, but I can tell you some of them. Gasparilla, Orlando, Boca Raton, Myrtle Beach, Birmingham, and then there's a couple others just on that list. So that's so there's opportunity to play Power 5 opponents in these bowl games, or some interesting Sunbelt opponents like App or Marshall. The Hawaii Bowl would interest me if it was Boise State. I have no interest in going to play Hawaii at Hawaii and calling it a bowl game.
How ironic would it be, guys, if we got Wake Forest in a bowl game this year?
I want LSU in Birmingham.
Oh,
I would love Wake. I would love to play Wake.
Give me LSU in Birmingham. I think LSU's not going to give 2 craps about playing that bowl game. Half their team.
Lane Kiffin might be there.
That's fine.
Audition and talent. Oh, good point, Stevie. Good point, Stevie.
Let's say
the Gasparilla to me is attractive just because of that location. I think Tampa is a really easy city to get to, big airport. I think we'd bring a lot of fans to that. Obviously, you get the weather, and I think you get a pretty good opponent. I'm kind of hoping for Gasparilla.
Kenny said Armed Forces against TCU would be attractive. The only problem with that is basically a home game.
Yes.
TCU has tanked as the season went on.
They have. I don't think that game. Is it the Armed Forces? There's 2 bowls down there, and I got to get them straight in my head. He said Armed Forces. It's called the Serve Pro Bowl now. Is that the old Armed Forces, or is that something else?
I think it is. I think it's the same one.
One's played in Fort Worth at TCU Stadium, but then one's played at the old Cotton Bowl Stadium. So I'm not sure which one. We have one of those 2, though.
Kenneth says Gasparilla against FSU or Clemson.
Boom. That would be awesome. That would be amazing.
Part of me wants to play Appalachian State in Myrtle, even if we go 8-4. No, we owe App State, dude. We owe App State so bad. I'd be fired up for that.
I think the point is, just judging by the comments coming in, Matt, and you're a former player, so let me ask you this. So I think what they're saying is what the bowl game means something. Yes, we all want to go to the bowl, and I'm going to go to what bowl if I can. Hawaii is out for me. I don't have that kind of money. But I will say that what was great about last year was you go Annapolis. We had a lot of fans like Matt when we were talking about. All of us came together, different, points in between. We were all there. And you beat a NC State that, we're like, wow, that's a great way to end the season. When the Charlotte game, we were, it was so.
All right, here you go, guys. This is their exact bowl lineup. Okay, you ready? All right. So the first pick goes to the Gold Bowling Military Bowl. They get first pick this year. The second pick goes to the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl, which is played at TCU Stadium. The third pick goes to the Fenway Bowl. The fourth pick goes to the Hawaii Bowl. Then we will send 4 teams to one of these 8 bowls. The Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl, which is in Frisco, Texas. The Boca Raton Bowl, which is in Boca Raton. The Cure Bowl, which is in Orlando. The Montgomery Bowl, the Union Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl, which is in Tampa. The Myrtle Beach Bowl, which is obviously Myrtle. The Serve Pro First Responder Bowl, that's the one at the old Cotton Bowl Stadium. The New Mexico Bowl and the Birmingham Bowl. Those are our bowl ties this year. So no Montgomery, thank God. So Power Five opponents. Off the top of my head, it would be Birmingham, the First Responder Bowl in Dallas, the Armed Forces Bowl in Fort Worth, the Gasparilla Bowl in Tampa, and the Military Bowl, the Fenway Bowl, and so that's it. And then the rest of them would be group of 5.
So if we win, if we beat FAU, or do we finish third in the conference?
Yes, yes. So
would it be a
If
tie?
Memphis beats Navy, Memphis has to beat Navy.
And it's not order of finish. It's who picks first. I mean, theoretically, the Military Bowl could decide they want us again and take us. I don't think that's going to happen. I think if we finish 8-4, I think it was a pretty good shot. We're in Boston.
That's what I want. I want Boston. I love Tampa, too, Matt. Like you were talking about the location, but Boston would be great. And how close are you to Boston, Matt?
I'm only like an hour and 45 minutes. So, I mean, it would be great from a location standpoint for like any of our fans here in the Northeast. I'll say this about the Fenway Bowl. That bowl game, whoever wins it is the team who wants to actually be there, because it's cold as hell. It's usually rainy. It's windy. It's it's at Fenway Park where they cut that field kind of in, on an angle to create a football field. And it's just a weird environment. And like North Carolina went up there last year and got beat up pretty good against UConn.
Yeah.
UConn wanted to be there and wanted to play, and North Carolina clearly didn't. So I'm just saying, if that's the bowl game you get, the Pirates are going to have to come ready to play, because it is going to be 30 degrees and rainy and cold as hell.
Yeah, and also I think with the Fenway Bowl, I said that I think that may be where we end up if we beat Florida Atlantic. Also, you got to look at who else is bowl eligible, because Navy will be bowl eligible. Army potentially can still get bowl eligible. I think they're sitting at 5 wins. They got to beat UTSA though, San Antonio. I think they're sitting at 5 wins, or they'll still have another opportunity against Army, or against Navy. So my point is, Temple can still get bowl eligible. Who do they play this week? So I think it's also going to depend on, I could see Fenway wanting Temple. So I don't know. Who knows where we're going to end up? First things first, we got to beat Florida Atlantic. Maybe we go right. I would rule Boca out. I wouldn't think we'd go right back to Boca right after we played in Boca the last game of the regular season. So that's probably one you can rule out.
Yeah, isn't Boca, guys, help me? Isn't Boca just like the Cure Bowl? Like if you win 6 games, I know that it all depends on.
I mean, it just depends on who you want. No, the Boca Bowl's a little bit higher on the pecking order than the Cure Bowl. And sometimes it just depends on who wants you and what matchup ESPN wants, because ESPN owns a lot of these bowls.
Yeah.
So, I think it depends. But I obviously we stand a better chance of a better bowl if we beat FAU.
How about this? Justin says Military will take Navy, so they would play in their home field. I guess.
Yeah, they've only played there like one time ever, Justin. They're bowl eligible almost every year, and the Military's only taken Navy like one time. So I don't know. I don't know. You're just speculating there, but they may take them this year. It's been a few years since they've played, at home. Navy plays it, or Temple plays at North Texas. So yeah,
Ooh,
Temple's probably not
Temple's
getting
gonna
bowl
get
eligible.
killed.
Yeah, they're not going to get bowl eligible.
Temple, we whatever we did to Temple on that day in Philly, man, we just destroyed. We took their heart, we took their soul that day because they have not been the same, and they just, man, they look awful the second half of the year. I think that game at North Texas, like if I was putting a line on it, I would just right off the top of my head, like North Texas -30. They're going to kill them.
That makes sense, Pays. I can see Navy at home. Navy playing Hawaii. Hawaii will probably play at their home stadium. I don't know. It'll be interesting. Who will the military take? I would say Navy's on the table for them to stay home. I would say, with Temple not getting bowl eligible, you can roll them out. I would say they probably don't want us 2 years in a row. But, do they want Memphis? How well is Memphis going to travel to Annapolis? Don't be shocked. Don't be shocked. As crazy as it sounds, I would not be shocked if we ended up in Annapolis 2 straight years. I don't think we will, but it would not be the most shocking thing to me if they took us again.
Yeah, I mean, that's not like, what is it? That hardly ever happens, But
it does happen.
But the one thing about it is we brought it last year. You look at our fan base, the team, the excitement. That was the people, the Military Bowl did a great job with the events, just a whole 9 yards. I enjoyed, that was an easy drive to get to for Annapolis. And the kids, I love the fact, and somebody mentioned earlier, what do you guys think about, I was going to give you the schedule. Okay, so I'm going to give you 2 things really quick here. You want to go north, you want to go south for the bowl, and do you want it before Christmas or after Christmas? I'll start with Matt.
Oh man, I'll tell you, like I just prefer before Christmas because once Christmas hits and then New Year's and I have work trips and I probably wouldn't even be able to go. I would say before, and I don't really. I mean, I love the idea of Tampa personally, if not Fenway for me.
Fenway's post Christmas.
What do you think, Stevie?
I think after Christmas. I like after Christmas games. No offense to Matt.
No,
Matt, I'll coming down to North Carolina to try to whip me or anything.
Stevie, I want you coming up to Fenway, Stevie. We're going to get you some good Italian food that you don't get in North Carolina, buddy.
You can't get Fenway. You can't get Fenway to Greenville. You can't get Stevie to Greenville. You think you're going to get him to Boston?
We got to get him to Boston.
Look, hey, Stevie, this is going to be like the Hangover, but it's going to be the Boston version where everybody's like,
"Oh, good Lord!"
Wife calls and says, "Have you guys seen Stevie?"
So
Stevie, we got to get you out of Alaska, man.
To continue,
too important in Alaska over here, man. You know how you say
it's the holiday season for Andy Taylor.
Yeah. Well, Kyle, you know. Now you know.
That's right. That made me do my Floyd the Barber again, or maybe I should do Malcolm Merriweather.
I'll go ahead and give my opinion if anybody cares.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir, J.O. I was about to ask you.
I want to go south, and I got to check my Pirate basketball schedule first to see if it before or after Christmas. No, Kyle. But I do have tickets. I do have tickets, but I don't
burn
think.
Them. I tell you what. I tell you, get another digital now, so you can't even use them if your power goes out to start a fire. So it's useless. But
no, I definitely want to go south, though.
To answer the question for me, I don't.
Y'all discriminate against the North. That's your problem.
I personally.
I definitely do.
Just kidding.
I personally don't care. I want to play a Power 4 opponent if possible.
Yes.
But if we're not going to play a Power 4 opponent, then I'd rather go to Myrtle. Send me to Myrtle against Marshall or Appalachian State. I think that'd be fun.
For me,
the only bad thing about the Myrtle Beach Bowl is the goofiest ass time and day. 11 a.m. on the 19th.
And Gasparilla's on the 19th as well.
But not at 11 a.m.
I hate them 11 a.m. games.
It's weird. Why would you do that? You clearly.
I can't imagine preparing as a player for
not food, Monica.
Game.
Thank you, Monica.
Not pizza, Monica.
Not
food.
Wait,
I love Monica,
wait,
but not pizza.
Wait just a minute. Did Semenza just say food's not better in the South?
Well,
He
certain
did.
types.
Right. You might have a point with
Italian
pizza
food.
there.
Well, here's the
No, Matt, you're
ethnic
talking about
food.
Italian, right?
Italian food, yeah.
My mind always goes to Italian. All right, here's what I mean. Barbecue, no doubt. You guys have us killed on barbecue.
Well, I would say everything except probably except ethnic food.
Italian food, steakhouses. I think the best steakhouses are up here.
You ever been to Texas, Matt?
Man, I'm not a Texas guy.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not a Texas guy.
Seems like you would.
Here's a great one. If we play an ACC, SEC, or Big 12 school, I'm happy. I think that's true for a lot of the fan base. I think that
Yes.
if we play Fenway and you have a Duke or a Clemson, North Carolina, any of the schools, and could we play NC State in the Fenway Bowl? I doubt they would do that.
Anything is possible. I would seriously doubt they would play it. We'd play them again, but
In 2 years, and and what would be crazy is you would have the Military Bowl, then we played them in Carter Finley, and then you've got to go to Boston to play them again.
Yeah, I'm gonna my money in order. This is me guessing bowl games. If we win, I think the highest probability. This is just guessing. I think if we win, our highest probability is probably Boston. I would say number 2. If we win, I think our second highest probability is probably Tampa, and then I would say win or lose. I think third probability is going to be Myrtle Beach if we win. I think if we lose, go ahead and immediately book your hotels for Myrtle.
And here you go, Kyle. Please, no App State and Myrtle. That is the least exciting possibility. And I agree.
I agree. I disagree. I think App State. We owe them. They've beaten us 3 times in a row. Is an in-state rivalry. I know I've talked to other people that feel the same way. That if we play App State in Myrtle, they'd be fired up for it. So Myrtle's a close trip. It's an easy trip. App State is a team we owe, and I'm not saying that's what I want. What I want is to take on a Power 4 opponent. But I'm saying if we don't take on a Power 4 opponent, would you rather have a win over App or Marshall, or would you rather have a win over Ohio or Western Michigan? I think a win over App or Marshall would mean a little more to the fan base.
I won't wait to put the 2 teams with the best record in North Carolina against each other.
Yeah, I don't really want to play Wake right now.
Why?
I think Wake is surging. And get back to me after this weekend.
Defensively, they're surging. Their offense leaves a lot to be desired, though.
They play at Duke on Saturday.
That could be a race to 20 points in that game.
Yeah.
They have Charlotte's old quarterback, Purdy, and he's not lighting it up exactly.
Yeah, they're very physical. They play a good defense. Don't get me wrong. I ain't scared. If we play them, let's go.
Let me put up a comment. I want to get your take on this, guys. And I like Kenny a lot. So when I put this, I'm not anti-Kenny. Fans will not travel to Fenway that good. The weather sucks every year for that game, and it's too far north for the Southern boy.
Kenny, let me ask you a question. I saw you on Facebook without your shirt on. You got enough chest hair. You look like a gorilla. Why are you worried about it? You shouldn't get cold.
Oh, God.
You shouldn't get cold in Boston. I mean, you should be good, brother. You are insulated. You are a manly man. That is for damn sure.
I don't know Kenny personally, but Kenny.
Southern Miss, we don't have the Independence Bowl this year, and neither do y'all, James. This year, the Independence Bowl.
I would be up for that.
Southern Miss and Myrtle, that could be a possibility, but we don't have the Independence Bowl this year. The Independence Bowl is Conference USA champion against the Big 12 this year.
All right. Well, what do you guys think of that? I think here's my thing. Boston, I know it's cold, but get some damn hoodies from the student store, fanatics.com. We were talking about last year. Remember how the weather was supposed to be bad, and it wasn't that bad last year. And Matt would be like, "What are you complaining about in Annapolis? You remember that? It's going to be rain and cold and all that." And it turned out to be not bad.
Boston's a little further north than
I know it is.
Annapolis.
I get that.
I would love.
I'm looking here for Kenny's response to my comment. I'm waiting. He's got to say something good. If it's Murder Beach, I will definitely go. Only a little over an hour from my house. Kenny, you're going to just totally ignore my comment. That's unbelievable.
No, that's Kenneth.
Kenneth,
That's
okay,
Kenneth. That's not
okay.
Kenny Curlin.
I'm waiting for Kenny Curlin's comment back to me, guys. But anyway, I hope he wasn't offended. I was just picking at him because
Kenny's efforting in the background. He's
I
typing
wish I looked like that without a shirt on. So,
Kenny, make it a good one, man. Kenny, come back. You got to come back with something.
as the boys saw the other night, a couple of the boys saw the other night. Kenny looks better without a shirt on than I do. So I was just fucking hairy chest, but in the cold weather, I don't know what he's worried about.
Does that sweater come in a
really
V-neck?
weird out of context?
I'll just supposed to go back to Merle. So
Stevie, you like that?
That's the blue fit. That's right.
Might make him dizzy though.
That's right. That's right. Well, I'm not worried about us playing on it now. Hey, it's to our advantage. We've already played on it this year.
There you go. For me personally, I told you guys, and I know Kyle doesn't like my matchup. I said it before, and I'll say it again. I'm going Fenway Bowl and Clemson.
It's not that I don't like it, Dave. I just think Mike Houston knows our talent roster, obviously. So I think that's a disadvantage, an unfair advantage, honestly, that they would have. They know all our players. Now, would we be fired up to play Clemson? Absolutely. Is this the year to play Clemson? Absolutely. I just don't like that Mike Houston knows our talent roster.
So
But,
Well, he didn't know our talent when he was the coach here, so I'm not.
Good point, Matt.
Zing.
yeah.
Well,
Well,
boom.
I'd rather play somebody else because of that. Otherwise, I'd be stoked to play Clemson.
Well,
I mean,
let me ask you this, Kyle. Would you and JR, Stevie? You said you wouldn't go.
we don't
I know
have
Dave-
Montgomery this year.
I know Dave would. Would you guys come to Fenway if we played there? Like,
I
would you
will.
guys actually make
Yes.
the trip? I know
The
Dave
answer-
would.
Kenny just put up. Dave just put up a comment from Kenny. We don't have the Montgomery ball
No,
this year.
Kendall. That's Kendall.
Kendall. We don't have the Montgomery. So whoever has that, ignore it. But Dave or Matt, repeat your question. I'm sorry.
Would you make the trip to Fenway if we played there? Like, I know Stevie said he couldn't. Dave would. JR and Kyle. Would you guys make that trip?
It would depend on a couple things: finances and how interested Jessica is in going. If we can afford it financially, or if Matt Cements is footing the bill, then absolutely.
Hey.
And if Jessica's she likes going to big cities way more than I do, so it may be something she'd be very interested in going to Boston.
Hey, we got a free ride from Justin, the QA.
Yeah, the ride ain't so much the point. It's the hotel and all the assistant, all the other stuff we're going to want to do while we're in Boston. But that may be something that would interest her quite a bit, actually. So
I would think Amtrak could get you. Might be a nice train ride right in. I mean,
That's what I was getting ready to say. I'm going to check the train ride to Boston. My Mackenzie especially wants to go on a train, so that would be cool. That's December 27th, so you leave on the 26th. It's just like last year with the military bowl. So
Boy, how long of a train ride is that though? I mean,
it's pretty far.
13 hours.
And you leave on the 26th. You're not. You might not get there until midnight.
No, what you do is you like for the New York City trip out of Rocky Mount, you leave at 2:29 in the morning, and I know like you get up to what is it, 2 hours from Boston to New York, Matt? How far is it from Boston?
No, well, it's more like 3.5, something like that.
Okay.
4 hours, yeah, 3.5.
So basically, what happens is I've done this twice. So you leave Rocky Mount at 2:29. And you get up to New York about 10:29. That's in the city. But so you're looking at that's 8 plus 3. So you're looking at 11-hour train ride if everything goes the way it's supposed to go. You know how that goes. Yeah, like you said, probably would have to change trains in New York City at Penn Station, I would think, to another. Yeah, that would be right. Monica's asking, what's her tipping point? Kyle, talking about Jessica, what would get her interested to go to Boston?
To go to Boston, the date's going to be against her because we'd have to leave on the 26th, day after Christmas. So I don't know. You know, she likes big cities. She likes going to see, you know, stuff in big cities. I don't really know. It just depends on how much Boston interests her. If it was New York City, she'd be all about it. Boston, I would say 50-50 on us going to Boston.
Quick thing, by the way, before I forget, fellas. Shell's great son, Randy, played on the soccer team for Charlotte Catholic this year instead of football, and they won the state championship. So
Nice.
while we have a
Congrats.
chance, I wanted to give Randy a shout out. I mean, how many people know a state champion? But Shell from the Queen City, brother, congratulations. I can't imagine if my son won a state championship. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, congratulations, Randy.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to Randy and Shell, and so it's a huge accomplishment.
Monica says Boston is a great city. By the way,
What's the date of the Birmingham Bowl?
Boston is a great city, man. I actually like it more
it's
than New York.
Kyle, it's December 29th on a Monday.
Okay, I like that. I'm supposed to go back to work that day. That would be an extended weekend. You got all weekend to get there. That is a easy that I like that.
I was going to tell you all that. I know we were there just a few years ago, but Birmingham has stepped up their game. Man, that stadium and what they have around the stadium, Birmingham was great. I loved, obviously, Annapolis last year, but I wouldn't mind. I want to go to different places, but Birmingham was, if we go there. And then, like when you said,
and I want LSU.
Yeah. How about this? Look at this. JetBlue, nonstop RDU to Boston. So Raleigh to Boston, $214.
Oh, nice. Good call, B pays on that one if that happens. That's the way to do it right there.
Oh yeah.
Justin said dreams might come true. So
what dreams might come true. What's he talking about?
Are you talking about going to Boston?
You know about Dreamland Barbecue?
The bar. Oh, talking about going back to Birmingham.
You know, I can if we go to the Birmingham. Here's a if this will help anybody from the bowl committee to ECU administration, to the conference, to our fans. If we make it to the Birmingham Bowl, I will sing Tracy Lawrence's "Paint Me a Birmingham" live on the air. So that's got to be worth something.
Oh man, I'm sure are you guys listening? Birmingham officials, are you listening? Yeah,
there you go. I mean,
that's exactly what they're
Stevie will sing harmony with me.
Huh?
Yeah.
Sing harmony with you.
Yeah, I'll paint me a
I'll
Birmingham.
take the lead, Joker. You
do it, baby. Sing it now. Go ahead.
Sing what now?
Paint me a Birmingham. Go ahead. Start it off. Paint me a Birmingham. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't do it for free.
I'll cash app you $5.
Right. If it's Justin, if that's true, he said it's between Myrtle, Birmingham, and Hawaii. I'm taking Birmingham.
Looks at me.
Birmingham.
Could you paint me a Birmingham? Make it look just the way I planned. Come on, y'all. A little house? No? Nobody?
Amanda needs to be in country music.
My dog just walked out of the room.
Here's another page. You're absolutely Semenza. I don't know if you guys remember this.
Matt doesn't know that song. That's why he wasn't saying.
Yeah, count me out of that one, Kyle. I can't. I
you
don't know.
You won't with us, right? Semenza in Birmingham. You didn't go to Birmingham?
No, he did not.
I was not in Birmingham. But I've been to Birmingham in the last few years. I've been to Birmingham.
I was not at Birmingham.
I didn't love it. I didn't love Birmingham, but
Birmingham has great food places, but he's right about that. Here, check this out. Pays, I can't talk tonight. Pays. I believe when we won that game against Coastal, the only thing that was open was like some kind of hotel bar. There was nothing open. Like everything was closed.
It was a weeknight, just like this would be.
Yeah, but like that, just like with Dreamland Barbecue, they go, oh, is a bowl's going on? They were understaffed. It's a great venue as far as a food joint. And if you go, you definitely need to, that's where we go. Make sure you go to Dreamland. But it was, they were, I just couldn't believe the disconnect on, I had forgotten about that. Pays, but yeah, there was like a lot of Pirates that wanted to go out and celebrate, like last year in Annapolis, and it was terrible. Well, they, as far as not having places, no restaurants, and I think it was a hotel bar that was the only thing open that night. But anyway,
I didn't go to Birmingham because I was getting chemo that day. Wonk wonk. But maybe that would be something I would get to do this year.
oh, Brian B Pays, Dreamland is overrated. I'll take you some real soul food spots there. I have a radio station I consult. Hey, Pays, sign me up. You know, brother, that I love food and I love restaurants, and I like those joints that where you go there and nobody knows about. So absolutely. Look at this. See, Justin, we shut that bar down at the hotel that night. I told you guys, I walked by it. I can't think of what brand it is, and they don't sponsor us anyway, so I'm not going to say their name even if I knew it. But it was a hotel bar there, and it's like, was it 10 o'clock at night? I mean, it wasn't like midnight or 1. It was like 10 o'clock. We won the game, and everything rolled up. So that would be my only negative about Birmingham. The stadium, Legion Field, was a dump. That first time we played them.
Oh, that old stadium was horrible.
Yeah, you got the downtown stadium now.
Yeah, I love the downtown stadium. Exactly, Justin. Everything was closed at 10 o'clock, Matt. 10 o'clock in Birmingham.
Yeah, that's
Birmingham is not a small town.
What kind of, 10 o'clock? Like, that's, college students don't even go out until 11 o'clock. So,
yeah, I'm just saying, my point is, I get that, like what you're saying, Kyle, just like this year, it's a Monday. So I get this a Monday night, but it's a bowl game. Those people, and then look, if those people don't show up by 11, close the mother down.
Yeah, well, there'll be somewhere. We'll figure it out. If we go to Birmingham, we'll figure out where to go afterwards. But so if Justin's right, Birmingham, he's been wrong so many times before. But so if he's right this time, Justin, I'm calling you out. Birmingham, Hawaii, and Myrtle.
Friends. Kenny, Justin, who else is next?
I calls them like I see them. That was Kenny. I'm jealous of Kenny, honestly. I'm not going to post a picture of myself with my shirt off. But so Birmingham, Myrtle Beach, or Hawaii. Birmingham would be the most attractive of those three. I like Myrtle. It's an easy trip. I love the idea of playing Apple Marshall in that game or Southern Miss. All three of those opponents are appealing. Hawaii would be appealing to me if it's Boise, but typically when Hawaii is bowl eligible, they stay home in Hawaii.
Great question from A-Win in Florida. How does equipment get to Hawaii?
Yeah, that is a great question for Justin. Justin, can you answer that? I'm assuming they just fly everything over, right? I mean, there's only two ways: to fly it or take it Well, you can do cargo ship, but
how long would that take?
How long would that take?
Yeah, I don't know. Justin, how does that work? I mean, you play, but could you be more specific? Like, how does
like a cargo plane?
Is it a cargo plane? I mean, is it a private plane? I mean, how do we get? Do you know? I mean, because it's been since 2006, since we've been to Hawaii. 2007, yeah, correct. It's been since 2007 since we've been to Hawaii. So, I mean, I'd like to know the logistics. Cargo ship takes 3 to 4 weeks or days.
Days, I think. That's what he's saying.
We need like the movie Planes, Trains, and Automobiles to get Justin. Justin needs to fly, or drive out to Cali.
They put it under
get
the plane.
The equipment on a boat it to Hawaii, and get everything set up.
FedEx plane.
No,
Wilson.
He said 3 to 4 months.
Justin said they put it under the plane they charter. Are you being serious?
Yeah.
Okay, I know obviously passenger planes have a lot of cargo room. I guess they'd have enough to carry all our football equipment. But again, planes have weight capacities too, though. So that's nuts.
Right. I would think that's a ton of weight to add to a plane.
Yeah, well, I guess the size plane we're using is not like the typical.
No, you're going to Hawaii. So, yeah. It would have to be a bigger plane just to make it over the Pacific.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's usually a bigger plane than normal. Okay, yeah.
You need a bigger boat.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, I think we're going to need a bigger plane.
Yeah.
Okay, Interesting. That is a good. Justin, I don't know how much are you involved because you guys are your family is the freight. You guys haul the hauler. Do you guys have anything to do with the logistics if the equipment's being flown out?
It's a 767 or a 777.
If Justin's family and them have anything to do with the logistics, if you know,
Okay, they get the big plane and then they get a U-Haul once they get.
yeah, if we go to Hawaii, Justin, and you guys are involved with the logistics for that, we're going to have you on as actual guest because that is incredibly interesting to me. As long as you want to do it,
They'll take it to the airport. He's saying,
but he'll have more details. So I think if
right?
we go to Hawaii, I think Justin will be we should have him on as actual guest. I think that's a very interesting conversation.
Good Lord.
Hey, I
Yeah,
got a question. I got a question for you guys. So if
What are you good Lord now, Stevie?
We can't have Justin Butts on the show.
Oh, well, you and him might fight.
He's a referee.
that would be a great show. It'd be podcast gold.
Oh, all right.
Okay, we have gone long tonight, but I did have one final thing that I wanted to. I saw apparently there's a podcast that I love growing up in East Carolina. I used to get bored, I guess, and make these lists, right? So there's a podcast now that fascinates me on, how everybody says who's on your Mount Rushmore we've talked about before for wrestling and all that.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw this out. I give you obviously the Mount Rushmore for the best coaches or the most important coaches in East Carolina history. I'll give you my 4 if you want me to start. Do you want to hear my 4?
We're talking about college coaches?
No,
East Carolina.
ECU.
Oh, ECU coaches.
All
Okay.
sports or just football?
Football.
Okay.
Football.
I think everybody's pretty much going to be the same, but go ahead.
I'm going to give you, I've got Stasevich, Pat Dye, Logan, and Skip Holtz.
Yeah, I got passive. Stasevich, Pat Dye.
Bill Lewis.
Well, Bill Lewis was the 91 season, but besides that, I don't know.
Not longevity. He wasn't that long enough.
Yeah, it's just interesting. I thought it was going to be easier than that. You know what? I'm going to take Stasevich off because he obviously he's a huge part of ECU football lore, but I don't know any. He's way before my time. Pat Dye, I know Pat Dye was before my time, but I know folks that played for Pat Dye, and obviously I knew Pat Dye at Auburn. So I'm going to keep Pat Dye up there. I'm going to go Pat Dye, Bill Lewis, Steve Logan, Ruffin McNeil.
Oh, wow. All right, whoever
I'm
wants.
going to go Pat Dye, Ed Emery, because that's what got me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Ed Emery, of course.
Ed Emery, Steve Logan, and Ruffin McNeil.
All right. Johnny, now I talked to you this morning. I told you I had something I was going to say for you.
Yeah, I mean, the Mount Rushmore would imply that they've already achieved greatness. But
well, you also think about the reason. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, Stasevich, he did change the offense, from that boring, single wing stuff to we threw the ball a little bit. Pat Dye, I agree with you, Dye Logan, but I was going to go with Blake for the future. I'm hopeful that Blake's going to be on the Mount Rushmore eventually. Not now,
but not now.
Not now. But
these ones have already been. These are ones that I do have. Obviously,
that's a tough one though, because Ruffin McNeil does, in my opinion,
sentimental favorite. I'm not calling for. Ruff is a sentimental favorite, but not the reason I picked. Here's another reason why I picked Skip Holtz. I know he doesn't have the longevity as much as I want, but he did win 2 conference championships back to back. And looking what he took over from the time.
Oh, Skip Holtz is definitely deserving to be up there. You could argue him or Ruffin. You could argue Bill Lewis I had on there because of the Peach Bowl season. You take that one season away, Bill Lewis doesn't deserve to be up there. But being it's the greatest season in ECU history, you don't have to explain why Skip's up there. I think that's fine. I went Pat Dye, Logan, Ruffin McNeil, Bill Lewis. So Matt, who you got?
I mean, I think you guys are all forgetting about JT.
And Scotty.
yeah.
I don't know. I'll take you guys.
I got one
you
for you. We could do like the Raspberry Award they have for films. How about the and I'll let you tell yours, Matt. But how about the worst 4 coaches in ECU football history?
Oof. I don't know. Worst 4?
No, give your best 4 first.
Yeah, your best 4.
You gotta have obviously, Logan, Skip. I was partial to the rough years. I thought were fun. Some really good teams. And then the 4th one, I don't know. I'd have to go back. I don't know.
Bill Lewis or Pat Dye?
I would probably say Pat Dye. I mean, but that would probably be it.
And Monica mentions John Christenberry. We talked a lot about him. He is in my consideration, Monica. The thing is, he had this more important thing called a war, World War II, that he left the university. And I do think that he needs to be strong consideration because he's actually the guy that he's the first. I think he was the first successful coach we ever had. And he coached football, basketball, and baseball, Matt.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Isn't
Go ahead.
He left.
I think he
He can't go ahead. He got dropped.
I didn't realize he left. So yeah, okay. I would have to say, wow, the worst coaches. It would have to be obviously John Thompson. You have to go John.
John, Scotty.
Scotty.
Coach
Art Baker had good players, but we were playing back then, Matt, if you remember.
The
schedule was brutal. That was back then. I mean,
the coach. What about Coach? I think it's name right before before Pat that went to UVA. What was his name?
Sonny Randall.
So before Randall was a coach McGee, who was here 1 year and left for Duke.
That's because that was his Duke is his alma mater.
Yeah, but he was pretty crappy. He had a bad season. I don't know how he got the Duke job.
I don't know.
So he was bad. But I think obviously, I think JT, Scotty Montgomery, and then Art Baker are the ones that people are going to remember.
Monica, I love you. You always are such a great contributor. We need to have Monica as a special guest host one night.
I don't think you can put Houston on there because he did go to 2 bowl games and had a win. Had a win over BYU on the road. Beat a UCF team that was just outside the top 25. I don't think you can put Houston on the worst coaches list.
I agree with Alan Vick's comment about Art Baker.
Yeah. Art Baker was a good coach, a brutal schedule. He did a lot of good things, setting up Bill Lewis and beyond. Yeah, he had a lot of
but your record is your record.
He had good players. Oh man.
But I mean, Kyle, you go back and look at that schedule. Why we played all the teams.
So did Bill Lewis.
Auburn, the Penn States,
Bill Lewis did that too.
Bill Lewis did what? He wasn't playing Auburn and Penn State.
He
played Illinois. He played Illinois. I mean,
89, 90.
Hey, I cut out. I was trying to comment earlier, and I cut out because I got disconnected.
Yeah.
But so I was saying, Bill Lewis. I didn't put him on my list because 3 years. I didn't think the tenure was long enough. But he was National Coach of the Year, was he not?
He was.
So that you got to put him. Yeah, I'm going to put him on my list. I'll take Blake off for now, and Blake will be a future ad, hopefully. But so I'm going to put Bill Lewis in because if he's National Coach of the Year, he's got to be on that.
Yeah, that's a really good point, JR. Like if you ever go back and look at Bill Lewis's staff here, some of the guys who were on that staff.
Oh man, yeah.
And Johnny could probably recite them all in a second, but like. Can you? I mean, Johnny, they had. I mean, I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but like there were some big names on that.
Logan,
staff.
You had Logan on that staff. You had
Jagozinski was on that staff.
Jagozinski. Right? Yeah. You had at one point you had Tommy Bowden.
Who's the
That's
guy
right.
that coached at was
Chuck
it?
Spagano, the guy that
Yeah.
Pagano. Yep. Chuck Pagano. You had obviously, Jeff Connors was a young up and comer on that staff. We had some good ones for sure.
yeah,
Ruffin was on Logan's first staff, right? He
Mark
wasn't ever on.
Richt. How about that one?
Yeah, Mark
Yeah,
Rick.
that's what I
Yes,
saw.
Good
yes,
call.
Mark
Rick.
Rick. Very good call. Yes.
That's
I mean,
that's a
hey.
hell of a staff. My God. I mean,
The first year Art Baker coached, listen to the schedule. Did somebody get State, leading off with State, Penn State, who was ranked number 10, Miami, Florida, South Carolina, Southern Miss, Auburn, and LSU.
What was the rest of the schedule?
I mean, he had Tulsa, he had Temple, and Southwest Texas State. But God knows, they went to Penn State. They played Miami at home, South Carolina at home,
Yeah, it was
Auburn
brutal.
at Auburn.
It was brutal, and that was the life of an independent back then. And that was over scheduling as an independent. But sometimes
That
you
was
had to
trying to
do
make
that.
money back, is what it
Yeah.
was.
You know how you can make money winning football games and selling tickets.
We did
Yeah.
sell. We have sold tickets over the years, or we wouldn't have 10 million people come through the doors as we had this year. So we have sold tickets. It's just a matter we didn't. We had people coming. We were just not winning the games that we should. But worst AD that now people are throwing worst AD.
Oh gosh,
Oh,
Kyle.
God. Well, you know what? You know what? All right, here's the Mike Hamrick. Okay. Confer was divisive. If you in the worst decision ever to fire Ruffin McNeil, Confer was not bad at scheduling. So everybody has everybody has their positives. Confer had no
He is still.
personality. Confer had no personality. He did not know how to handle money. He wasted money. He did not know how to identify with people. He had absolutely no personality. And then the biggest mistake he made was firing Ruffin McNeil. And then his little whatever she was, Shelly Vinegar, was one of the. Let me tell you something right now. There was okay. So our buddy John Bream had a Facebook page. It was Fire Confer Facebook page, and it was going strong. And there was a night, and Shelly Vinegar had to be drunk off her ass that night. She sat on that Facebook page, in public for anybody that was to see, and argued with me and John Bream for 2 hours one night in public. It just said asinine. She should have been fired just for that interaction, or at least reprimanded. It was the most ridiculous. So Confer's the worst AD in ECU history because of the shape he left us in. Hamrick's right up there, but the bigger problem with Mike Hamrick was not William Muse. Help me out, Dave. The chancellor that was from Auburn.
Oh yeah.
That clown that came in. Yeah. So what happened? You had Mike Hamrick, okay, and Steve Logan hated each other, and Hambone fired Logan. Well, Hambone wanted to fire Doc Holliday, who went on and hired him at Marshall and did a great job at Marshall.
Right?
Huh?
You talking about Ballard, Steve Ballard? That comes to mind. Is that who you talking about? Ballard?
Yes, Steve Ballard. Steve, was that his name? I don't want to call the wrong AD. But so you had Logan and Hamrick hated each other. Okay, so when he fired Logan, the chancellor prior, was it William? Who was the chancellor here during?
You're right, Muse.
Muse was here. So Muse kind of kept Logan and Hamrick apart. When Muse retired from being the chancellor, he still worked at the university. Steve Ballard, was it Steve Ballard? That does not sound like the right name, Dave.
I'll look it up.
But the AD came in from Auburn. Or excuse me, the chancellor came in from Auburn, and he was an ass. And he wanted an SEC guy. So he was perfectly fine with Hamrick firing Logan. Hamrick wanted to hire Doc Holliday, who went on to be the head coach at Marshall and did a great job at Marshall. He was an assistant at NC State at the time. Had we hired Doc Holliday, we would have been just fine. But the chancellor insisted that we hire an SEC guy.
Mm-hmm.
John Thompson was not a Mike Hamrick hire. That was the chancellor at the time who came here from Auburn, whose name we cannot think of.
It might be Muse. Ballard didn't start to 2004.
Yeah, Ballard was good. Ballard was here. That was here under Terry Holland and all that. No, he was here for. How is nobody remembering who the chancellor was when Logan got fired? Somebody, listener, somebody.
Richard
Hey,
Aiken?
who?
It said Aiken, but I thought Aiken. I thought there was somebody before after Aiken.
Just look up Auburn
Shelton.
chancellor. Huh?
I mean, wasn't Shelton like the interim between Muse and Ballard?
Muse.
Hold on, I'm gonna look this up. You talk amongst yourselves.
Muse took over for Aiken, and then I guess the interim, and then they hired Ballard.
Yeah, but there was someone in between there. I think it was it Shelton?
I don't know. I didn't.
Well, Kyle will give us the answer.
Yeah, it's William Muse. Brian Page said, yeah, it's Muse. He's definitely the one. And then when Ballard came in, he was like, he cleaned up a lot of the good stuff. Okay, Shelton was the interim after Muse, and then you had Ballard. So
it was William Muse, only here for 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Muse.
So William Muse came in 01, and he wanted. So Logan and Hamrick hated each other. So Hamrick wanted Logan gone. William Muse finally gave it the okay because he wanted an SEC guy. Hamrick wanted to hire Doc Holliday. So I can understand Hamrick not getting along with Logan because a lot of people don't get along with Logan. I like Logan. I know some of his former players that don't like him. So the problem really wasn't actually, if you look back at it, and Logan's attitude at that time, the BCS thing had gotten to him.
Yeah.
He was done with recruiting. Looking back on it, I think had Hambone been able to hire Doc Holliday as he wanted, we would have been fine. But the problem was the chancellor at the time was insisting on an SEC guy, William Muse. John Thompson was a William Muse hire, not a Mike Hamrick hire. So that was a long-winded answer to Jeff Comfort's the worst AD in ECU history.
And then we had Terry Holland, who hired Skip Holtz, Ruffin McNeil.
Terry's the best AD in ECU history.
Yeah.
And and I'll say that because I think Peach Bowl boy, Dave Hart, I think has ruined his reputation by that bull crap. Do we ever get the results of the deep dive?
It's still ongoing.
Okay.
It's that
Yes,
deep.
Matt dropped out. I think he was ready to go to bed, guys. Yeah. And I think we all probably are at this point.
Yeah,
it went a bit long-winded.
Yep. All right.
And there goes Stevie.
Yeah. What's funny is we're losing more hosts than we are listeners. So it used to be the other way around. So I appreciate everybody being a part of the show tonight. And any final thoughts, guys, before we get out of here?
I think we've said all that needs to be said.
All right. Well, we have our big preview coming up, FAU. As, again, Pirates lose 58-28. We'll flush this out. We'll have a great time, I'm sure, in Boca Raton on Saturday. We'll see how that goes. And that's a noon kickoff, guys, right off the top of my head. Isn't that right?
Noon ESPN Plus.
All right, noon ESPN Plus. All right, we'll get out of here. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate all of you. A huge crowd once again. So awesome to see that. Thanks to everybody commenting and chatting with us tonight. We'll get out of here. Again, we'll be back with you Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. This has been the Pirate Football Playback on the Sports Objective. Good night, everybody, and go Pirates.
You're watching the Sports Objective, the podcast for Pirates.